Hi folks, and welcome back to Quarantine According to Eddie. And I'm out today, going shopping while my wife's asleep. She's on night shifts tonight, so I'm making the most of it. And I'm taking the cannonball out. It's so cool because it's jet black and goes like it's been shot from a gun. Anyway, I was thinking about her night shifts and her work, and it made me think. She practices at the hospital under her maiden name rather than her married name, but outside the hospital she uses her married name, as in my name. So it's almost like she's got two completely separate identities, one attributed to one name and one to another. And the classic question of identity in philosophy is, which is the true identity? And this is sort of one of the big questions of philosophy. If people change, or if people seemingly have different sets of identities, which one is true, and does identity remain the same? The classic example is the ship of Theseus. Theseus was a Greek who had a ship where everything had been replaced. All the timbers, the sails, everything. And so the question was, is it still the same ship? If everything's been replaced, is it still the same ship? An essentialist approach to identity would say, well, no, it's not the same ship. But this leaves us with a problem. All of our cells regenerate after 7 years, and we do change as time goes by. So how can we still be the same people that we were in previous times? How can we maintain an identity? Well, there is a response to that. And it's the idea of performative identity. And this is the idea that identity is a product of performance, but also performance is a product of identity. So you have an idea of who you are, that's your identity. You act in a certain way that reflects that, but the way you act then reflects back onto the identity. It creates a dynamic loop, a dynamic system. And this gets around the essentialist problems of identity, because it suggests that actually identity is more like a flow. It's like a continuum. And so you can actually change your identity, change who you are, and yet still be the same person. Now, if you talk to people who have changed their names, changed their identities, particularly in the trans community, this is really important because they'll have new names with new identities. Whereas there are some people who have new names but want to essentially continue with their identities, say if they're married, or they might have just changed their name by deed poll. But the point of performative identity is all of those are valid. It's all valid because it depends on how you're performing it, and the performance depends on your identity. It even covers multiple aspects of identity. And let's be honest, we all do have multiple aspects of identity. We act differently around people we're trying to impress, around family members, around friends. And performative identity says, well, that's okay. You have multiple different identities, but you're still the same actor. And all these identities play into each other. And it's all a set of performances. But that then begs the question, if identity can essentially be what you want it to be and whatever is performed, does it have any real fixed truth to it? Can you really identify someone's true identity? Well, I'd love to know your thoughts. If you've got any questions or comments, let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching and see you next time.